All right, we are live. So I am looking at the Polkadot chart for quarter 1 of 2024. And today I'm going to be looking at the astrology of Polkadot. And I know some people think that's absolutely crazy. They think it's just so out of this world crazy. This does not mean that I don't agree with TA. TA is very, very, very important. Yet there is so much TA out there already. I thought I would bring in a new angle to analyze the charts, looking at astrology specifically. So this doesn't mean that I'm dogmatic about astrology and I think everything is all, astrology has all the answers. No, I also look at the TA, I look at the macroeconomics, I look at what the Fed is doing. I get information from TA experts in my sphere. So I am looking at the markets from all different angles. But specifically on this specific channel, I'm looking at the astrology. All right, this is a new angle. Let's see what interesting correlations we can find. Now, currently Polkadot, which I am very bullish on long term, one of the reasons is it has very high developer activity. So I think it could outperform in the next year or two. And if we are lucky, I'm not guaranteeing this, we might get a very nice pump in the near future. And I'll talk more about that. But let's look at the chart. We are holding up here around 680, which is pretty low. Let's look at the daily. So we are still getting higher lows overall. However, in the short term, since we got this peak on December 26th, we've been heading down. So in the short term, it's bearish. Let's look at the Fibonacci here. So it bounced up off of the bottom here around $6.52. We headed up to about the 0.618 level, but we're definitely getting a lot of resistance around the 50% level, which is normal. So we want to see it get past the 50% and start holding the 50% level, which in the short term is at $8.07, around there. So currently it's looking pretty bearish, but yeah, we got to get above this level. We got to start doing daily closes above $8.06, around there. And then that could be very bullish, and it could happen very, very quickly actually. So I'm going to keep my eye out on that. In the best case scenario, we could see something like this. We shoot up to, and this level is the 0.236 extension from the peak of the last bull market, and we hit that around $16. So that's going to happen soon, or it's going to happen maybe later in the year or even next year. Let's hope it happens sooner rather than later. In the last bull run, we saw this pump. It might happen something like this. I'll have to zoom in, where we see this initial pump up, and then it back tests the previous peaks here. So it goes up, and then it back tests. So in the most bullish case scenario, we could see that happening, where we potentially shoot up. Well, maybe we might get more resistance. We might shoot up to like 12 or something, or 12 or 13. And then back test back down to around $7 before we really go off on the bull run. But typically, we're not going to go off on the full bull run until Bitcoin hits an all-time high. All right, so we'll see what happens with that. All right, let's look at the astrology. This is the main event of the day or evening, depending on where you're tuning in from. So this is the Polkadot astrology chart. Now let's look more deeply. Well, first off, anyone who wants to double check the Genesis block, the first block that was generated or mined What I got for the Genesis block, looking at the block Explorer for Polkadot, was May 26, 2020 at 4:36 p.m. in Zug, Switzerland. That's where I found the company was based, and hopefully that is where the first block was mined. So if anyone wants to double check that, I would be greatly appreciative. Let's have some teamwork here on this channel. Let's work together as a community instead of tearing each other down. I'm getting some hateful comments as people don't like astrology. They think it's nonsense. They think it's crazy. Let's support each other in this new age of Aquarius. This is about coming together in communities, supporting one another out of the kindness of our heart and lifting each other up instead of tearing each other down. All right, so yeah, anyone, please double check the Polkadot Genesis block and we can get the most accurate astrology. So assuming I got the correct day and time on the Genesis block for Polkadot, which I think I did, we're gonna look at the next 3 months. All right, so this is Q1 of 2024. So we actually did not get the greatest astrology in January, just kind of nothing too specific. Actually, I'm gonna change this really quick. So January wasn't the most amazing astrology, but let's look at the next few months here. So right now, we're actually getting a very bearish transit here. Saturn square the Polkadot Sun. All right, and that's happening on the 25th United States time. You know, that's not good energy. So we could see Polkadot continue to slow down. Let's take a look. Oh God. So here we go here. You know, we could see Polkadot just continue to hang out from $6 to $7 maybe. And okay, so we get a major shift here, literally in the next 24 hours or so. We're getting the Sun and Pluto conjuncting. This is not just for Polkadot, this is for the astrology overall, the world astrology. We're getting the Sun conjunct Pluto. And on the moment when Pluto is transitioning into Aquarius. And this kind of event only happens every 14 years or every 20 years or so. This is major, major, major. So take a look at my last video about Pluto in Aquarius. As there's many, many, many world-changing themes around that. And it also has to do with revolutions. I think blockchain is very revolutionary technology. So this could be good for blockchain, let's see. But let's also take a look at the negative possibility that if you take a look at my last video, I don't have time to explain all of it, but we saw themes. If you take a look at this blue line here, these are the 3 times on the Dow Jones that similar transit happened with Pluto transiting into a new sign 3 times and retrograding 3 times. Take a look at this video to learn more about that. Back in 1956, we saw the Dow Jones dump like crazy. And then in 1937, we saw a dump as well, a dump for a few weeks it looks like. And then, but in 1912, we saw a pump before a dump. So, I mean, this is tricky because the TA is saying that we're potentially, maybe Bitcoin's gonna stall out for a little bit and the altcoins have one last chance to pump. If they do not pump, then they're probably just gonna hang out here and just kind of fall off it for a bit. But the good news is that the Dow Jones, the Fed funds rate is projected to, it's still projected to pause, 97% chance of a pause, which is typically bullish for markets. And with the Dow Jones and the NASDAQ and the S&P 500 setting a new all-time high, things are looking pretty bullish at the same time. So now we are seeing neutral fear and greed index for Bitcoin. So things are neutral. So it's really tough to say if we're going to dump or pump. It's almost 50-50 chance we could go either way. But let's look more at the Polkadot astrology. So let's look into February. All right, this is what I'm excited about. We are getting a Jupiter conjunct the Polkadot Uranus. And Uranus is the planet of technology. Polkadot is a technology. It's a cryptocurrency. It's on the blockchain. This is extremely bullish because Jupiter expands whatever it touches, and Jupiter expanding the planet of technology on the Polkadot natal chart on February 9th. This could be very, very bullish. All right, so if everything lines up, okay, I'm saying if everything lines up, if Bitcoin pumps up again into the higher 40s, we could see Polkadot pump here around February 9th. So maybe anywhere between a week, give or take, around February 9th. All right, so beginning of February, let's say. This is an opportunity. It's not guaranteed. This is just a probability, a possibility that Polkadot, I mean, if it's gonna pump, if it's gonna pump past $10, this is when it's gonna happen. All right, but if the stars don't align, if Bitcoin just dumps, if the Dow Jones, if the macro just falls off, then we're not gonna see that pump. All right, so keep that in mind. But that's what I'm very excited about, the potential there. Wow, around the same time we're getting Mars conjunct Polkadot Pluto. We're also getting the Sun trine the Polkadot Venus. Those are positive. We're getting the Sun trine the Ascendant. That's positive. So yeah, I mean, if we're gonna get pumped, that's when it's gonna happen. We're also getting a positive Saturn sextile the Polkadot Uranus on February 16th, and another positive Jupiter sextile the Polkadot Mars on the 15th. So perhaps Polkadot could be pumping into mid-February if the stars align, if all goes well with Bitcoin and macro, because the altcoins depend on Bitcoin typically. And then we get another, we get Pluto conjunct the Polkadot Saturn. That's an interesting dynamic there. That might be a bit more bearish. Let's take a deeper look. Yeah, I mean, it's not necessarily super positive. That could be more bearish. And we get Mars conjunct the Polkadot Saturn on the February 15th. And then Saturn, this is a big deal, Saturn conjunct the Polkadot Mars, which is potentially going to bring down the price at the end of February. So, very, very interesting. This is also positive. We could get some positive changes in March. Uranus sextile the Polkadot MC. So we could get a boost of the reputation, Polkadot's reputation. Maybe we could get some good news coming out around Polkadot. Maybe the blockchain makes some revolutionary changes in technology. Maybe the network upgrades in some way that's really kind of revolutionary. So that is looking positive in March. If the markets are dumping in March, maybe that could be a great buying opportunity. We'll see. And then Uranus sextile the Polkadot Neptune. Fairly positive, nothing too amazing there. So, I mean, the main thing I'm seeing is that we could get that pump around February 9th. If all goes well with Bitcoin and the macro markets. And then perhaps we dump down in the later half of February or into March. But this is our opportunity before February 9th. I'm definitely making sure I have some in my bags. Once again, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Please speak with a financial advisor before you make any investment decisions. This is for entertainment purposes. Talk about what I do with my own money, but this is, this is just only entertainment here on YouTube. So thanks so much for watching. Definitely stay tuned on more crypto astrology videos. Definitely subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. And I will see you on the next video. Thanks so much for watching.